Hello. Have a seat. Now, what would you like your wage to be? I'll take like, a couple 100,000 a year, like normal championship. Wait, what is that? Sounds all well and good, but we only have £1 to give you. Did you say a pound, like on a scale, or can you double that? If we must, but just for you. Oh, thanks, because you're special. We need you on this team. Wait, so how much am I how much am I getting paid though? For those of you that are going to get triggered because I talked about wages in per year, you're welcome. That's the way it works in the US version of the game. We're here to talk about one of the most important things in Football Manager. It's going to make or break your save. That's contract negotiations. And we have a tip for you that's I've just learned myself that's actually going to increase your ability to negotiate like 2 to 3 times, because it takes advantage of your last opportunity to do something in a game in a contract negotiation. So we are going to get to that, but I can't just make a video about that without doing a refresh of a video we made a couple of years ago, which is linked up there about contract negotiations, because a lot of things have changed over the last couple of years. So let's get into it. I like to make lists. No, really? Absolutely stunning stuff here from Zealand. What am I doing? What am I doing? Well, I've got 2 different lists of 3. The first thing is there are 3 facets to a negotiation on your end. These are the abstract facets, and Football Manager actually has a lot of abstract parts to it. What I mean by that is different strategies and ways to think about signing players and making tough decisions in the way that I have to do in front of thousands of people 5 days a week. And if you want to watch that, it happens on Twitch, or the live streams and edited versions like episodes are uploaded on a live YouTube channel. They're all down there. We'll be in that save in a second, negotiating contracts. The 3 facets of these negotiations are: number 1, boom, explosions. Number 1, how much do you need this player? I know this sounds simple, but it is important to remind yourself, especially when you become infatuated with things like, I don't know, speed or like size, breaking free of your fixations on certain things and certain players and assessing, when you look at your team, how much do you actually need this person? And as the great Lelujo said, now get that. See that? Scares me. Anyways, as the great Lelujo says, do you actually need this player? If you do, sign them. If you don't, don't. It's an oversimplification, but it helps with number 1. Number 2, explosion. Look at that. How much does this limit your other possibilities? Often in a transfer window, there are multiple things happening at the same time. If there aren't, congratulations. How? But when considering your contract negotiations and how much money is going to be coming out, and how much you're going to have to seed, and how many years you're going to have to give the player and tie your club up into that one player, how much does this limit your ability to go get somebody else in the future? This player is a very small marginal improvement, but if it's going to cost you a lot, and it's not some sort of wonder kid that's going to be a long-term solution, how much is this actually limiting your possibility? Or is there somebody else that you might be able to get in the future, or another position you need more, even though you'd love to have both? You often can't have both. You don't always get what you want. You get what you need. Unless you're PSG, then you get both. Number 3, registration and playing time check. This is where our old friend Lelujo actually kind of struggles playing Football Manager. Before you actually get the negotiation, make sure that the player fits into the registration and is not going to affect the playing time of anyone that you've promised a significant amount of playing time to. Consider players that you're likely to sell, or go, well, now we're gonna have to loan this person out, but at least know what you're gonna do before you lock yourself into the contract and then just freaking figure it out later, because then you could screw yourself. And there are 3 parts to actual contract negotiations as well, but we're gonna get to that after I open another box with a mystery shirt in it for Mystery Football, a longtime sponsor of this channel, the exclusive shirt provider of the Zealand YouTube channel. They've been wonderful. They've provided me with this absolutely sick Dortmund top that blinds me every time I look at myself in the mirror. And they would like me to remind you that on the website over the next couple of months, they will be providing you an option to select the new jerseys, the new kits for the upcoming 2022-2023 season, and you get a 5% discount at the link down at the top of the description, and you can get yourself, I just hit myself in the face, one of these wonderful boxes from Mystery Football, like I am about to open, and then put on a new jersey. There we go. We have opened the thing, and you will see at the same time that I will what jersey we're actually getting today. Oh my goodness, this looks so cool. What is this? It says Oh, look at that. Forward Madison from the USL League One. That is so freaking cool. Dude, every other jersey I've gotten's been at least from a top European club. This is from the US third tier. Forward Madison in Wisconsin. That is so cool. Give my card. I need to keep collecting my cards. So order your box on Mystery Football. Use the link down in the description and maybe you'll get a USL 2 jersey. You'll get a 4th tier team. It'd be even cooler than I will. This is really cool. I need to go change. But I'm trying to figure out while I put this on. I've got like a QR code right here. I don't know what that, I'm gonna scan it now. No way! It loads the Forward Madison website. That is so cool. Okay, newly kitted, the 3 parts of actual contract negotiation. Number 1, length. People will tell you the length doesn't matter, but it does, because the longer you have a player under contract, the less often they have the opportunity to wiggle their way out, or the more you can ride out them being upset in the first place, which kind of goes hand in hand. But the length of a contract not only can keep players from getting upset longer, you can keep them on your team longer, you can depress their wages for longer as well. This is harder to do in FM22 because players will more often ask for new contracts if their role in the squad has changed or if they are playing at a much higher level than before, but it still helps. Number 2, the second part of this is the base payments. And you would think this is just the wage, but it's not actually the wage. Let's look at an actual contract on my Floridsdorfer team. Let's go to Owen Vanderhorst, who's been one of the highest paid players in our team for a long time. So when I'm considering base payments, I'm talking about the amount, which for me is per year, could be for you per month or per week, whatever you have going on in your game. You have the loyalty bonus, which is paid out over the course of the contract. You have the appearance fee, and you have the unused substitute fee. For forwards and wingers, goal and assist bonuses can also be considered largely part of your base payments. These are payments that are definitely going to be going out multiple times throughout the course of the contract and are something that you can essentially just count as part of the contract. But there are other parts. This is number 3. And the third part to consider, and the third lever that you can use in a contract negotiation, are the incentive bonuses. Winning the cup, team of the year, number of goals and assists in a season. I'm not talking like 5 goals in a season for your star striker, but if you put in like 15 assists in a season for a really good winger, and that is an incentive bonus, or they become the top goal scorer in the league, you win the golden boot, and here is a bonus for that. You also have wage escalators, like if you play 10 matches, your wage will go up. If you or on the team for all 4 years, you've got a 10% wage increase year over year. That's also going to be a factor. I want you to think of these 3 sections when it comes to negotiating as 3 cups. They have 3 cups. They're not half full. They're not half empty. This isn't some weird test. In each negotiation, the player you're trying to negotiate with wants a certain amount of water. And what you need to do is provide that amount of water by, let's say, going 3 years in the length of the contract. That's this much water here. And providing a base salary that's roughly $1 million a year here, and they want more money than that, so you also need to put some water in the extra incentive. Now, the player is always going to want a certain amount of water, but if you can find a way to distribute that makes it safe and healthy for your club, then that's what you're going to want to do. So for the strategies and that one super cool tip that I just learned, we're going to negotiate an actual contract in my Twitch save. And the player that we're going to be negotiating with is 19-year-old Colombian international Hector Helman Zapata. He is classified by the media as a wonderkid, and as you probably guessed, we had to give him a pretty beefy contract with a lot of water in the incentives cup in order to get him to agree to a lower base contract. So this is going to be a spicy negotiation because he is already used to having a lot of water in his cups. And we're going to have to try and figure out a way to distribute them appropriately. The first thing you see in every contract negotiation is this screen. This should be a formality. The only thing that you really should be worrying about is this. Now, the play raise I would love to remove, but in this case, I know I'm going to be paying this dude a serious amount of money anyways, so I'm not going to try and reduce it. What I am going to try and reduce is his playing time and get it down to regular starter. If I remove both, it's likely he will be upset. I'm going to remove and not remove and exclude, and you see most of these options are very case specific. I generally don't mess with that stuff too much. Regular starter and that removed is good. Remember, do not remove and exclude something if you do not have to, because it could pigeonhole you in a negotiation and the agent could just say, that's it, I'm done. And the huge contributing factor is the patience of the agent. This is an attribute that the agent has. These agents will always have that amount of patience. This isn't like a deal by deal basis sort of thing. That bar is supposed to be full. It's not. This dude's gonna want to move quickly, which means if you do one negotiation and he says that doesn't look good, you got to move quickly towards him or it is over. Impatient agents can also work too, because if you go low and then immediately they go really close to you, you know you've got them. Let's finalize our promises and go into the negotiation. There's some, well, it's a good one to use for an example. He's locked a release clause, which was already in his contract. So if you want to see his existing contract, you can actually click the drop down right here. His release clause is 16.75 million, and we put a lot of clauses in here to get him to accept the contract because we really wanted to sign him. But now if we go back to the current offer, we can contrast and we can help come up with a better contract this time. So he's already expecting more money. We know that he came in asking for a significant raise, which means we're probably going to have to raise the base salary. Now I can do this because my payroll budget is significantly larger than the last time we negotiated a contract with Zapata. I can put more water in that base payment section so that my club's not bleeding extra money outside of the wage budget. Now the length, this is the length of his current contract, so we're going to want to extend that probably at least 2 years so that he's tied down at the club for a long time, but I'm tentatively going to give him a 5-year contract because I would love for Hector Helman Zapata to be here. But the more years we put on, this isn't necessarily putting more water in the length cup, because as a young player, he's going to want to sign a new contract sooner rather than later so he can get even more money, which means I'm actually going to have to put more water in other areas, which is why I went up and clicked up here, add a little more water to that base salary part, because I want to have him tied down for longer and not have to deal with renegotiating that contract. But do I want to do that? Because I'm going to want to give him a new contract that gets rid of this minimum fee release clause. So I think we'll just extend him 1, maybe 2 years, so that we do have a little breathing room to give him a longer contract that doesn't have this release clause when we have the opportunity to do so. But there generally is an advantage in trapping younger players in longer contracts. That is a key strategy of contract negotiation when you are developing wonderkids, trapping them in longer contracts so that you are paying a lower wage on a player that's simply worth more. We're also going to need to add a couple of bonuses. So let's take a look at what his contract was at last time. And his appearance fee right now is 8,000, goal bonus is 4, assist is 5, and unused substitute is 3.5. This guy is eating pretty well. All right, so we'll give him a 9,000 appearance fee. We'll give him a goal bonus at 6,000. We want to provide that indication that he is, you know, aging up and that he deserves to be paid more. And the unused substitute fee is going to be 4,000. So we've increased the water that we're putting in that base pot as well. We're going to be paying these out. The goal and assist not as much, but the unused substitute and appearance fee bonuses are all going to be there. He is also a regular player for Colombia, so this goes into the base payment category. We'll pay him $7,000 every time he appears the Colombian national team. The tricky thing about this situation is we do not know how acceptable this deal is to him right now, but there is one thing you can always do to make it more palatable. You go right down here and you click relegation release clause if you have that option, and you put it at $0. The way I look at this is if I'm going to get relegated with this team that's supposed to win the league, I'm probably going to be fired anyways. So I'm going to put this in the contract to make it easier to get this player on the team, because I'm just not going to get relegated. There is an extra clause actually even below the relegation release clause called the subscribe button. We'd really appreciate it if you hit it. We have taken care of all of our base payments. I have a feeling Hector Helman Zapata is going to want more in that third cup. But we've put no water in the third cup other than a minimum fee release clause that the agent has required. So in what is a bit of a tricky situation, because this agent is impatient, we're going to click submit. I'm just going to tweak with this a little more, see if because we did put some serious monetary gain in here. And then I'm going to hit suggest. I wouldn't suggest this contract if Johnny didn't already have a friendly relationship with me. I know this agent. I have another Colombian on the team. This agent also works with him. I've negotiated contracts with him before. You will get much better deals when you have agents that like you. Do not anger agents from wonderkid producing countries. It will hurt. So suggest terms. Okay, so he's adjusted things. He's added the loyalty bonus and agent fee, which we knew he was going to do. Added a yearly salary raise, which we're not actually able to provide, and a team of the year bonus. So put a little bit of water in there, but not a lot. Let's make this a cool 50,000 for the agent. Loyalty bonus at 650,000, and reduced the contract by a year. So I'm going to take the contract back out the 4 years. But this is pretty easy for Hector Helman Zapata to achieve. So what I'm going to do is actually, we're in the Europa League this year, is put a win the Europa League clause here. These are the types of clauses I call I don't care clauses. Because if I win the Europa League, I'm not going to care about $200,000. I just won the Europa League, made a lot more money than that, made my club a lot bigger than it is now, and so that is a fantastic clause to put in there. Other clauses like promotion or getting into the Champions League group stage, those things, those transformative events for your club, those are the things you can add as I don't care clauses, because your club will be in a better financial position at that point, so you don't care at the point that you're paying it out, but it does help your contract negotiation. Now, so we've gone up to 4 years, we've upped the agent fee, loyalty fee down, and we've added some serious money for winning the Europa League, and maybe we want to add something for winning the Admiral Bundesliga or the Cup, but I'm going to hit suggest again, and we've just won the negotiation. So high fives all around. Unfortunately, we didn't actually get to show off the super cool new trick we learned because everything else worked too well. So for that, we're actually going to have to go back to a moment from my stream earlier today where I applied the trick. So what I'm doing is negotiating a transfer. So you go back and forth, you go back and forth, and all of a sudden that agent speech box turns like orange. And once it turns orange, you got one more offer left. So what are you gonna do with that one more offer? Well, you could submit a normal offer, like an absolute loser, or you lock the offer. Lock every single part of the offer, at least the base wage. And when you lock, that is an extra negotiating tactic. Now, it's obviously an all or nothing. If you lock, they either accept it or they don't. But if the agent's already come to you with an orange speech box, they're either going to accept it or they won't on the next offer regardless. So you might as well use your best negotiating tool in that situation, which is to lower it a little bit, or if it's a transfer offer, raise it a little bit, and then lock it. I have started using this on stream over the last couple of days, and I can feel the difference as somebody that plays the game all day, every day. You win more negotiations when you lock after the agent gets to orange. You just do, because you basically do it right back at them. Like, this is the last offer we're ever going to give you. So what's up, fool? There are two other things I wanted to tell you about that we didn't get to in the negotiation with our player. And in order to look at those, I've got to go find Ulrich Torbjornsson, because if you look at his contract, we may or may not have included a lot of water in the cup that has to do with bonuses. And what you'll notice is a lot of these bonuses, there's no chance for the person to achieve. So you can actually add value to a contract. If you wanted to have a 30 assist bonus to every contract you ever submitted, you probably have to pay that out once ever, but it will at least give you a slight boost in your negotiation. And this proves that putting a ton of water in that extra section of that extra cup can win you negotiations, because this is the highest wage I could offer at the time, and I really wanted Ulrich Torbjornsson. Word of warning though, sell-on fee percentages once you put it in a contract, in my experience, multiple examples on FM22, the agent will not allow you to take that out of the contract. You can try and get the agent fired, and the agent will hate you. We've mentioned that's a bad thing. Or you just don't usually go with a sell-on fee percentage, because the agent will always lock that and include it in the next contract negotiation. If there's a way around that, please tell me in the comments, but I don't think there is. And if you like to plan out your salaries into the future, you're giving a lot of large, long contracts, you can go to finances, salary commitments, and find out how much of a hit your payroll budget's going to be taking year on year, and when a lot of your contracts start to expire and you're going to have a lot of money to play with again. And if you ever question what a payout in a contract's actually going to, look in the bottom left. Watch as I change the loyalty clause, as that comes out of the transfer budget, or I change the agent fee and that comes out of the future budget cost, or maybe I change the appearance fee and you see that comes out of the total payroll budget cost, which obviously the actual money in the payroll comes out of that cost too. But if I add a team of the year bonus and I increase and decrease it, you see it doesn't come out of any of those budgets or go into any of those budgets, and that is how you can determine whether it goes in the base payments cup or the extra payments cup. So now you are prepared for contract negotiations in Football Manager. Run through the first 3 steps, then run through the next 3 steps, fill your cups up with water, and a metaphor that I absolutely abused, and you'll have every player that you've ever wanted. I wish you many Champions Leagues, and I'll see you on another video, which could be this one, my complete guide to how to train in Football Manager. You're already here, so you're interested in how to be better. Might as well.